Hi everyone, how are you all? How's you doing, each and everyone? Hello, Ashwini. Ashwini Pawar is there. Hello, 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 guys. Okay, okay, hello. Yeah, I'm also good. Yeah, I'm also good, guys. Okay, guys. So first of all, we will be going to start with some of the questions that in yesterday class there was some pupils who basically asked this question. So first of all, I'm going to reply those questions. After that, we are just going to work on a real-time data set where we'll be doing EDA and some data cleaning also. यश नानी क्या हाल है बढ़िया यश आप कैसे हो okay okay so let me just share my screen okay Okay. So basically, this was these was some questions that people basically asked me in yesterday class. So let me just reply you these things. So guys, whenever you are using a Google Colab, right? So at that time, there will be an option to connect to your drive. This is basically your drive. Okay, the Google Drive. Now, so basically, this was the first question. That let me just zoom it a little bit. I think it is good now. Okay. Now, guys, just a second. Okay, I think it is looking good. Yeah. So, yeah, this was the first question that how to import 100 CSV, whether in CSV or XML, matlab means like whether it is in like Excel format or something. So, how to import, I can say 100 files, 1000 files, 10 files. Okay. So, there is a library in Python that is called Globe. Okay, so let us just discuss about this thing. So okay, this is basically my CSV folder. There are a lot of CSVs that are present, and even there are other this thing there are other files also, like ipynb file is there, txt file is also there. Okay, so now let me just copy this path, and what I'm going to do, I'm just going to read each and every CSV that is present inside it. Like there are multiple files also. So this is the trick. Okay. Yeah, Umesh, don't worry. You will be getting the attendance sheet. Do not worry about this thing. Okay. So let me just import first of all pandas. And let me just even just do one thing, guys. Okay. Now let me just even import one library that is called import globe. Okay, now for let me just run a loop for files in globe. This is basically my file path where my all files are. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to add a plus sign over here. Okay, now the plus sign, and I'm just going to use a star dot csv. Now what do I mean by this thing? I'm basically in this code, I'm telling, okay, so from this code, I'm basically telling this that inside this folder, okay, whichever file is ending with .csv, okay, so just give me that file, print files. Just a second, guys. So this is basically, you can see these are my different files. Okay, just a second, guys. Yeah. So you can see these are basically my CSVs that are present inside my data, inside my this folder. Okay, now if I'm just going to change it as txt, because there was one file also which was named as txt. So let me just even see this thing. So you can see there is a txt file. So doesn't matter if you are having a different formats. Okay, if you are having a different formats, doesn't matter. You just have to pass that format that you are looking for. Okay, now how we can basically read a csv, this is the main question. Okay, so let me even just tell you this thing also, guys, how you can basically do this thing. Okay, so I hope you guys are aware about list comprehension and dictionary comprehension. Okay, so just give me a second, let me just call it like all files. Let me just take all files, and here I have did just I for I in globe dot globe dot globe, and let me just pass my this path, or let me just copy this whole thing for I in globe dot this thing. Okay, now I just have to run this thing. So in all files, in this all files, okay, right now I'm having my all CSVs. This is what globe is. Now let me just even do one thing over here, guys. Okay, let me just use this thing. Okay, now just see this thing. This is basically my empty list that I have created. Now what I am doing, I am just again running a for loop, because in this variable, it basically has stored my these files. So for retrieving it, I basically have to run a for loop. Okay, one by one. So I have just did for file name in all files, then df is equal to pd dot read of files, index call none is going to be, headers are going to be 0, then li dot append df. When I append all my CSVs over here, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to concatenate them on row wise. So let me just run this thing, and let me just show you how it is basically looking. Just see, these are my files. Okay, now just see, these are the total rows. If just see what I have did, I have just did concatenation over here with respect to the axis 0. So like if one column was not there, suppose if one column was this was a 100 column csv, this was a 10 column csv. So what it has did, it has basically uh, given us basically nan values for the columns which was not presented in other csvs. Let me just read one csv also, so you basically get idea what I'm basically talking about. Let me just say data is equal to pd dot read CSV, and let me just pass the path, and let me just see to tell data. Okay, now just see this is basically my one CSV. It is having this much of rows, but what I have did over here, I have just concatenated all the CSVs that was present over here. Just see this thing, like this is the code. So doesn't matter if you are working with .txt file, okay, dot like any other format, it is even going to work with your images like .png, .jpg, and all the things. So this is the way you can import 100 files from a folder or something. Okay, there was someone who basically asked me this question, so this is the answer. Now okay, this was also the question, but I am not going to reply this thing right now. But I can do this thing. Okay, let me just I can say, let me just select. I basically have this frame data. Okay, now let me just do one thing. Because the project that we are going to do, I will be showing you the answer of this question in that project only. Okay, now I think this is a good question, like how to change data in whole row or in column in loop. Because in yesterday class, I have shown you how to use .add function, okay, where we was just changing the values, okay, where we was just changing the values over this thing, over our CSV or like our dummy CSV that we have created. Okay, so now let me also just show you this thing, guys, how you can perform this operation over here. Okay, let me just copy and paste this thing, and let me just say frame is there, ID is there. Okay, so let me just again call this CSV. Frame is there, like, yeah, or frames. Yeah, frame is there. Now let us just say these are IDs, okay, because you basically have two CSVs right now. This is basic, Gaurav, this is basically a demo data. We are not performing any project right now, but yeah, after a few minutes we will be jumping towards the project only. But these are some questions that people basically have asked me in yesterday class, so that's why I'm replying all of these things. So how to change data in whole row or in a column in a loop. So let me just first of all create a new list, that is I will be naming it like new L, and let me just copy some of the IDs from here. Okay, this is the ID, and let me just also copy one more ID, that is going to be this way. Okay, now what I am basically telling it, in my this CSV where these values are lying, okay, just change with respect to this index, just change the value of this toxic label. Okay, and I'm changing it with respect to let's upgrade. So there are 0.5, 0.5. Now I will be changing it as let's upgrade. Okay, so I just need to run this thing, and frame ID is there. ID is basically in a small one, ID. Now let me just see whether it is going to work or not. Frame, yeah. So you can see what I have did over here. First of all, I have run a loop, that is basically my enumerate one. For I comma j in enumerate frame ID, this is basically your ID. Okay, if I'm calling j basically means the data, but I basically means that it is going to give you an index of these things, like index is going to be one for this one, two, three, four. Okay, for with respect to the values, it is also giving you an index. After that, I'm telling it for j in new L, either I can just name it as, yeah, for j in new L, because this is the data, the j that is present in ID. Now if j is also in my this list, then just do one thing, just locate the location in this CSV frame dot lock, and I basically means index. So with that particular index and with the particular column of toxic, change the values as let's upgrade. Okay, this is your second question. So in this way you can basically change your values in a loop. Okay, now there was also a question like how to make our own CSV. Okay, so for this I can say uh, this data is there, right? Now let me just again print this data. Okay, now just see, just try to imagine these things, that this data is basically inside your DB, that is nothing but a database. Okay, now let us just suppose, let me just do a head 3. Okay, so now data dot head is equal to 3. Now let us just suppose these are the values that are present in your database. So first of all, I am going to retrieve all of these values. Lock is basically where you can mention the column name. Okay, where you can mention the column name, but whenever you are using iLock, at that time you just have to give a numbers over here. Yeah, Sankal, data analysis is we are using it everywhere. Okay, so now I basically need to retrieve these values. So I can say new, I can say okay, list one. I can name it as list one, and I can name it as list two. Okay, now I'm going to do for I in data 8 list one dot append list one dot append I. Let me just run this thing. Now let me just call my list one. So now these are the values that are available in list one. Okay, just suppose with respect to this code, you have fetched the values from your data frame. Now again, for I in data, and let me just say work class. Okay, so list two dot list two dot append I. Okay, now just even see one thing, guys, over here. Now I have two lists over here. What I can do, I can just put them inside a dictionary. Like I can say call one, that is going to be my list one, and after that there is a column for call two, that is going to be list two. Okay. Now after this thing, I can basically say data is equal to pd dot data frame, and let me just call dict1. After that, let me just print my data, and let me just see how basically it is looking. Either I can just put data only, because it will be giving us a good visual presentation. So you can see this is the CSV that I have created. Now if I basically want to export it, so I can basically say data dot to CSV, and let me just name it a CSV. I can say demo underscore csv dot csv, and index is equal to false. Now I have just did this thing. Now let me just, okay, this is basically my csv that I have saved. For saving a csv, you just have to do data dot to dot to csv. Okay, now just see, this is your csv call one and call two. This is how you can create your own csv guys. Okay, so these were some questions, and okay, this is also the questions. I will be also answering this. Do not worry. Okay, so let me just share my other screen. Okay, where we will be discussing about the project. Mm, okay, yeah, this is the one. Now, this is basically my customer retention project, guys. Okay, so in this customer retention project, what we are just going to do, we will be analyzing this project. Okay, these are the some libraries that basically I have imported. So these libraries are going to help us for the data cleaning part, and also it is going to help us for the visualization part. Just a second, guys. Okay. Okay, this is basically my file that you are seeing over here, IBYNB file. Now, what is the data customer retention? Just see one thing, guys. If you are basically ordering your products from Amazon or either from a Flipkart, but if you are getting a good offer on Mintra, or maybe I can say on Meesho. Okay, Meesho is basically a new app. So if you are getting a good offer from other this sites, so what you will be doing, so what you will be doing at that time, you will be basically going to choose that particular app. Okay, like Amazon, Flipkart, or Meesho, or anything. So but if you are ordering from other site, so I can say Amazon is facing some kind of a loss. They are basically losing their customers. So that's why we are going to analyze these things, like if customers are changing their apps, like from Amazon to Flipkart or Flipkart to Snapdeal or Mintra or anything. So what is the reason behind it? Because this thing is basically causing their company some kind of a loss. Okay. 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 So now let me just run this thing, and let me just show you how my data is looking like. This is basically my data. It is basically having 71 columns. This is a real time data set, guys, and it is basically having a less rows. Okay, because in the real time you will be not getting that enough data. Okay, so this is your data. These are the columns, like gender of the a person, or how old a person is who is basically ordering these things. Okay. Okay, you are basically asking me for some projects. You can basically add this project also, and there is other projects also if time is allowing us. Time is basically allows us. So I will be showing you two projects in this session only, but this is also a good project, because just see one thing, guys. The interviewer is not going to ask you question related to only that particular project. You should basically know, like, what types of analysis, what different types of analysis are there, when you have to use which analysis. And first of all, you basically have to draw these graphs, and I will be also showing you that if you are drawing a graph, okay, so at that time you basically have to write observations. Now what is observations, we are only going to discuss this thing in this project only, so do not worry about this. So yeah, the peoples who are basically ordering the items, like from which city they belong to. Pin code is there, but I don't think pin code is a. Yeah, Abhishek, do not worry. You will be getting this data set also. Okay. So, how many times you have made an online purchase in the past 1 year? So, if this is the person, okay, how many time did that particular person had made a purchase online in a year? So that is about 31 to 40, and this is also 41 times and hour. So this is the information whenever you are working with any kind of a data. Okay, so you just have to do one thing. First of all, try to analyze your data. Okay, now this is also one of the column. What is the screen size of your mobile device? Like, you all might be having a different mobiles. So some this is the data that we have, like 4.7 inches is there of data, and this is the iOS or Mac, and someone is having a 5.5 inches and they are having a Android device. Okay, now these are the sites that people basically have made a purchase, like longer time to get logged in. Okay, so people have basically not logged in these sites. Okay, these are the other columns also. I will basically suggest you to just go through with each and every column what your data is saying. So now there is a function in pandas that is called dot info. Okay, if you are using a pandas data frame, at that time you can use this info. So what it is basically telling you, it is basically telling you the columns. It will be telling you these are the columns that you are having. Okay, and like int, if I just talk about the int, there is only one column that is an int type, and rest of the 70 columns are just a object type. Okay, now if I basically wanted to know that what how many none values are there, so I can basically use this one, because this is the same line of code that we have discussed in yesterday class. Okay, now what I have did over here, this is the column, like pin code of the pupils. So this was not necessary. So what I have did, I have just dropped this one. So now just see one thing, guys. If I just talk about the analysis one, you can see. Okay, let me just call my data again. Data dot call. Okay. Now just see this thing, guys. This is basically your column, right? But you can see if I basically have to select this column, okay, till here to here, data, it will not going to give me a result. It is saying basically this column doesn't exist. Now why? Because this is having because I have to copy these things till here. Just see, this is the blank space. Okay. Now if I am just going to put this thing over here, now you will be able to see that I will be able to call my this column. Okay. So what if, guys, what if I basically wanted to replace these things, this blank space that are present in my column? So what I can do at that time, and for the analysis part, there are three types of analysis. The first one is going to be univariate analysis. The second one is going to be bivariant analysis. The third one is going to be multivariate analysis. Okay. So for the univariate analysis, we only perform mostly two type of graphs only. The first one is going to be count plot. The second one is going to be distribution plot. I will be showing you what is the meaning of this thing. So if there are white space, so how I can basically remove it. Okay, guys, so just see this thing. Let me just call data dot columns, and data dot columns dot str dot replace the blank space with nothing. Okay, now let me again call this data dot columns. You can see this is the white space. Let me just call my data dot columns in this cell. Now you will be seeing that which column was there. Okay, data dot info is there. Okay, this one, the ninth one, the 10th one, 11th one, most of them basically having a white space. Now let us just have a look over here. 9, 10, 11, no white space is there, guys. If I will be calling my column now like this, for sure I will be getting my values. Okay. Now just see one thing also, guys. um, Let me just also introduce you some codes also. See, just a second. Data dot head, that is called 3. Okay, now if you wanted to know, like in this column how many unique values are there, so what you can do, you can just do data dot unique. Now you will be able to see like these are the unique values, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think if I'm just going to call n unique, it will be just giving you a number. Yeah, it is saying that you basically have 5 unique values in this column. Okay, so this is also the analysis. This thing is also giving you an idea like which column is having how many unique values. Okay, so now let me just write a code. Just a second. Let me just show you this code. This is basically a code. This is basically called list dictionary comprehension. Okay, we are in this thing only, in dictionary only, we are just applying a loop. So let me just explain you this thing one by one. Suppose if there are columns which are only object, okay, and I basically only wanted to select those columns which are object, so I can just do data dot select d type object. Okay. Now, if I wanted to only extract those columns which are int, okay, so I can say exclude is equal to object. Now it is not giving us any value because only index is there, which is in a int format. Okay, so this is the way where you can get your data. Like if you only want to work with the object column, you can directly say, sorry, data dot select d type, uh, sorry, data dot select d type and object. Okay, now what is this thing? This line of code is basically giving us an information that this column, okay, this column is basically having three values, three unique values. Okay, this is what this is the information that this column is basically giving us. Okay, just a second. Let me just do this thing. Shubhankar, we will be this class will be till 9:30. Till 9:30, this session is basically. So yeah, guys, this is my data dot head that you can see over here. Okay. 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 These are the unique values. Let me just call data dot columns again. So these are my unique values, five. But with respect to even this thing, I can basically directly analyze. Like if this column is there, it is basically having only four unique values. So this is some codes. These are some codes that you can use for the analysis part. Okay. Now, what we are basically going to do after this thing, I will be just calling. Okay. Let me just remove this thing because this data part. Just a second. Okay. Right now, I am not filling the blank space. So yeah, let me start doing this thing. Okay, good. So this is the list of all of my columns that I am having. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to create plots like these. Okay. So for creating a multiple plots, first of all, I need to create a list, which will be the list will be having all the columns names. So for collecting these things, what you can do, either you can just call data dot head this thing, not data dot head. You can just call this thing data dot columns, or you can just do one thing. You can just copy and paste all of these things. Okay, till here. After that, you can just paste it over here. This is the one thing that you can do. But there are also other ways. You do not basically have to write these things. So what you can do in other way, just call data.select dtype objects and just store it in object.ones. So it will be just giving you an object column. After that, what you just have to do, you just have to create a list. Now list of what? List of this thing. object one dot columns dot values. So it will be giving you the values of columns. Now what I have did over here, I have stored these things into data one. So let me just store this thing into dt1. Okay. Now it is also having a values like this. Now let me just, this is more, this was my data one. Let me just change it with respect to d1. dt1 was there, I think. Yeah, dt1. Yeah. Now let me run this thing. What you are not getting, Gaurav? Look, what till what we have did, we have just did nothing. Okay, I am just telling you, I am over here, I am just trying to explain you the different functions. Gaurav, I am just telling you over here the different functions of pandas, like you was able to read the data set. After that we have discussed our data set, like this is the gender column, what is the age of the people who are ordering, from which location they are ordering. Okay, after that what we have did, this is also the function dot info, that is just going to give you a information about your data. Okay, now after that, this is how we are checking the null values. Now this column is not needed. This column is basically not needed. Now why? Because it is only containing your pin codes. Pin code is not going to give you any kind of analysis information. Okay, now data, over here what I'm doing, I'm just dropping this column. Okay, now just also see one thing. This is how I was just telling you, if there are white space in your columns, how you can remove that. I have also explained you this thing over here. Okay, now just also see this thing. This is, I'm just telling you, if just see one thing. Okay, why I have did all of this thing. For plotting this plot, these plots, you should have a list which will be containing all the column names for creating a plot like this. So that's why I basically have told you, either you can just copy all the columns names and you can paste them in a list, or either you can just perform this two line of code. Okay, now just try to understand this code. Over here I am just passing my plot figure size. This is the size of the figure. After that I am telling it, for I in range len dt1, that is this one. That means all length of the columns, like how many columns are there. After that what I have did, plt dot subplot 40 comma 2 I plus 1. That means for one row, in one row I will be drawing two subplots. This is my one subplot, this is my one subplot. 40 means till 40 rows I will be till 40 rows I will be drawing a plot like this. Okay, now I plus 1 is basically like this thing. After drawing these things, just try to increment the value and just draw a next plot over here. Okay, now after this thing, I'm just calling a count plot from cborn. Okay, from, because we have all imported cborn, like import cborn as sns. Now I'm calling a count plot, cns dot count plot data dti. Okay, now what is data dti? Data is basically, I'm calling my data frame, and dt is basically nothing but a list like this, where dti is doing, dt is just going to pick this column first, after this this column, after this column. So it will be picking each and every column one by one. Okay, now what is this plt dot x ticks rotate 90? Let me just comment it out, and let me just run this thing without this one. No, info and describe is not same. Describe is also something I'm going to show you. Info is just going to give you a information about the data, like whether it is a integer, whether it is a object column. But describe is going to give you what is the minimum value that you are having inside your column. But describe is basically work with only numerical columns. It is taking a little bit more time. Okay, now you might be seeing these subplots, but are you able to, like, suppose if there are multiple columns or names like this one, so you are not able to see like which this bar is basically representing which value. This you can basically see this is Mintra. Okay, so that's why we have did these things, that the values that will be presented over here. Okay, Ashwini, जस्ट सी दिस थिंग। हम यहाँ पे क्या कर रहे हैं कि हमने यहाँ पे एक प्लॉट ड्रॉ किया है। अगर हम ये एक्स टिक्स रोटेट 90 एंड नहीं पास करेंगे तो आप देख सकते हो, जस्ट अ सेकेंड। सो यू कैन सी ओवर हेयर कि ये वैल्यूज़ अच्छे से प्रेजेंटेड नहीं है, इसलिए हम इन्हें रोटेट कर देंगे 90 डिग्री पे ताकि हम इन्हें अच्छे से विजुअलाइज कर पाएँ। और फॉन्ट साइज़ 20 इसलिए क्योंकि अभी ये बहुत ही ज़्यादा छोटा है, तो हम ये 20 अगर दे देंगे तो इसका साइज़ बढ़ जाएगा। सो लेट मी जस्ट रन इट अगेन। एंड व्हाट इज़ दिस plt.type plot? I will be sharing this notebook with all of you. So just do one thing, that try to execute each and every line of code, and you can even comment out this thing and you can just see the result. Because if I will be not using plt.type layout, this will be little messy. Okay, so try to execute these things from your end only. So अभी हम रिजल्ट का वेट करते हैं, कैसा रिजल्ट आएगा देखते हैं। ये हमारी यूनिवेरिएट एनालिसिस है। तीन तरह की एनालिसिस होती है हमारे पास, यूनिवेरिएट एनालिसिस, बाईवेरिएट एनालिसिस एंड मल्टीवेरिएट एनालिसिस। I will be also showing you what is multivariate analysis, but for now let us just focus on univariate analysis, because univariate analysis is mostly contain count plot only. Let us just wait for the result. Okay, so these are some codes that I have explained over here. If you are using these codes in your real time project, these codes are basically going to help you in analyzing the data, these codes. Okay, so I can say you, I think that you, all of you guys might be learning something new in this class. Okay, because we are not just plotting each and every plot one by one, we are just plotting multiple plots. So you can basically have a more understanding with respect to your columns. Okay, because if suppose if you are going to create a count plot one by one, okay, so you just have to do the same thing with respect to 70 times. Okay, now this is a column that in my data set. Let us just try to understand this thing now. I was able to draw graph, but what inside I'm getting from this data, this is the main question. Now, can I say the data that I have, okay, this is the real time data. There are there are more females as compared to male which are doing shopping online, which are basically doing online shopping as compared to male. That's a fact, I can say. Okay, so there are less number of males which are basically doing online shopping, but there are more females which are doing online shopping. Now let us just also understand, this is saying how old are you, like the person who are doing shopping, how old they are. Okay, this is what they are saying over here. Now, can I say most of the peoples who are doing shopping, they basically having a age of 31 to 40 years, and after 31 to 40 years there are more peoples from 21 to 30 years. After 41 to 50 years, so this is the main target, this is the main target of Amazon, Flipkart, and all the others brands. They basically have to target these age peoples so they can increase their business. Are you getting all of these things, guys? Can I get a confirmation in the chat? Yeah, we can also do that. But are you getting these things, guys? How to get an insight from the data? Because plotting a graph is something else, but getting an insight from it, this is the main important thing. Are you getting these things, guys? Can I get a confirmation in the chat? Yes. Okay, Abhishek is saying yes. Nidhi is saying yes. Sagar is saying yes. Sony, yes. Okay. Okay. Shubhankar is saying okay. Now we are enjoying. Okay, good. Because the previous steps that basically I have mentioned, okay, this was like some basic codes that you should know. Okay. Okay, then. Uh, okay. Now let us just try to understand this one also. From which city do you shop online from? So there are more peoples who basically do. Yeah, Sagar, you will be getting the code and you will be also getting the data. Do not worry about this thing. Okay. This is going to be Delhi. There are more people who are doing shopping from Delhi. After that, Greater Noida, Karnal is there, Bangalore is there, Noida. You can basically see these things. So more people are basically doing shopping from Delhi only. This is the information that you can pass to your manager. Okay. Now, since how long you are shopping online? So there are more people who are doing shopping from last 4 years. Okay, and after that there are also a high count of people who basically have 2 to 3 years of count. Okay, now let us just also, okay, this is also a good data, like if you are doing a online shopping. Okay, what internet you are using? Are you using a dial up? Are you using a wi-fi? Are you using a mobile data, mobile internet, and mobile internet? It is mentioned two time. I don't know why mobile internet and mobile internet, but I can say there are more peoples who basically use mobile data for shopping. This is the information you are getting from this data. Just see, you can, after that, after analyzing these things, you can even build a machine learning model on it, because you have the understanding of the features, what your features are saying. We are using a matplotlib, Javed. We are using the Seaborn library, and for this notebook we are using Google Colab. I have already explained this thing in my yesterday class. Okay, let me just see if there are. Okay, this is also a good this thing. Okay, no, not this one. Okay, yeah. So what is your preferred payment option? So this is also option like e-wallet, like Paytm, free charge, phone pay, or something else, credit, debit card, cash on delivery. So there are more people who basically use their credit and debit cards. After that there are second highest count is basically having of those people who basically prefer cash on delivery, and there are few people who basically use e-wallets. Okay, now now for the more steps I can basically suggest you. just try to do the analysis from your own end. Let me just pick up some more columns. Let me just see this thing. Okay, now after analyzing all of these things, I have basically written some of the observations. Like from gender, I can say male are less and female are more. Means female used to do more shopping. This is the information that you can pass towards your manager. Okay, now from age 21 to 30 and 31 to 40 years of people used to do more shopping. Okay, and people who are 50 years old and above, they do very less shopping. Like this thing, for this thing, for writing a observation, you just have to click on the this text. When you are hovering your this cursor over here, it will be giving an option of code and text. So just click on text, and for a this for a big text, you just have to use this hash, and after just write something. It will be showing you like this. But if you are not doing this thing, so this is your text. So this is how it will be looking like. And if you are here just adding these two things over in this thing, it will be showing you like this. Okay. Now, from each and every column, I have written this observations. Okay. So just try to no, read these things one by one. Okay. So you will be getting idea what your data is saying. Okay, guys. And let me just Flipkart, Amazon. Let me just say what it is saying. Okay, why I'm not getting this? Okay, this is also the good analysis, like a long delivery period. Which site basically do a long delivery period? Okay, so Paytm is there because we can also do shopping from Paytm app. So it basically take a long time to deliver your products. After that, Snapdeal is there. Just see this thing. Flipkart is after that Flipkart, but I can say the sites which are taking a less time. So those are basically Mintra and Amazon. Okay, and Flipkart also. But Snapdeal and Paytm is taking more time. I hope you all are getting this thing, guys. Okay. Now, this was my univariate analysis. Okay. So this was my univariate analysis. Now, what I have did over here, there is also option in pandas that is group by. So what I am just going to do, I am just going to group by two columns. That is going to be which of the Indian online retailer would you recommend to your friend, and the other column is gender of respondent. Okay, and I'm just going to call a value count. Okay, now let me just run this thing and let me just run data 2. Now you can see just I basically have two columns now. Which of the Indian online retailer would you recommend to your friend? And the other one is basically going to be a gender of respondent. That is basically means if I'm just going to analyze Amazon, that means there are females, more number of females and more number of males. Okay, if they are basically going to recommend any of the online site to their friend. So females are there which are recommending more about Amazon. Males are 32 which are recommending Amazon. After that, Amazon and Flipkart, females are there. 42 count of females are there which are recommending Amazon and Flipkart to their friends, and 20 males are there which are recommending Amazon and Flipkart. Same as well. These are counts of other sites. Okay. Now, this is also the thing that we have discussed. Which store has longest delivery period? Okay, this if you basically want to draw a count plot with respect to one column only, so you can just use sns.count plot data and the column name. This is your this is your univariate analysis. Now this is going to be your uh, m- bivariant analysis. Okay, now what I am going to do over here, I am just going to compare my age column with respect to all the columns that are present inside my data. Okay, just a second. It will be going to give you an idea. Okay, let me just run this thing. It will be going to give you an idea of what is the benefit of this line of code. And this is the plot, sns.strip plot, that we are using in our data. Okay, when I will be explaining you what insights we are getting from this data, you will be getting at that time. Let us just wait for the execution now. Okay, this is the column. Now let us just see what I have did over here. I have compared all the columns with respect to the age column. Like in the y-axis, I will be only having age, but in the x column I will be having all the other columns one by one. So I think my screen is visible. Like, I think it is more good now. Okay, now you will be able to see the diagram more clearly. Okay, gender, this is basically my gender, male and female, and these are basically my age, and this is going to be the gender, this is going to be the age. So let us just try to understand what information I am getting from this particular diagram. Okay, now whenever I am calling a strip plot, it will be showing me a line like this. Now what is the meaning of this thing? So let us just try to understand that there are people from 31 to 40 age in males. So there are less peoples in 31 to 40 age which are doing shopping in male, but there are more females. You can see there is more. This line is not breaking that as compared to this male one. Okay, so just see this line. It is like it is not breaking that much. So I can basically say as compared to the age 31 to 40, there are more females as compared to males. But if I basically want to compare males, so I can say with respect to 41 to 50 age, there are males, a good quantity of males who are basically doing online shopping. But if I just talk about females, just see this line. This is even like more clear. So I can say there are more females in the age of 21 to 30 who are doing more shopping. This is the information that you can pass towards the client, to your manager. Okay, now we are drawing some plot and we are also getting insights from it. Okay guys, now let us just try to compare this. Okay, this is basically age versus age, so no. Okay, so this is basically since how long you are shopping online. So the pupils who are doing online shopping from like above 4 years. So I can say they basically have a age of 41 to 50 years. Okay, but peoples who are doing online shopping continuously, like from 1 to 2 years, okay, they basically lie in 21 to 30 years of age. Similarly, with respect to 3 to 4 years, there are very less peoples uh, whose age are less than 20 years. Okay, and there are even only few peoples who have an age of 51 years and above in the experience of 3 to 4 years. This is the insight that you are basically getting. Okay, now, okay, okay. So just see this thing. How many times you have made an online purchase in the past 1 year? Okay, so I can say people who have made a purchase more than 41 times and above. Okay, they are basically having a age of 21 to 30 years. Majority of the peoples who have made a 40 times and above purchase in last years, they are having a majority age of 21 to 30 and 31 to 40. But there are very less peoples who are from 41 to 50 years, and there are also very less peoples who are from less than 20 years. Okay, so just see, this is how you have to analyze your data. This is how you have to use these visualization libraries. Okay, I hope this thing is making some sense. Is it making some sense, guys, or not? Okay. Just see this thing over here. I have also written this thing. I have also written some observations like from age versus gender. I can say for every age, from young to old, females are more as compared to men. Yeah, this is the thing that we have discussed. From age versus since how long you are shopping online. I can say the people who are doing shopping above force are mostly in age between 31 to 50. This is the observation that you basically have to write, because if interviewer is seeing this notebook that you have uploaded on GitHub, okay, for sure he will be taking more interest in you. Okay, let us just do some more analysis also. Okay, now, what is your preferred payment option? So just see which age of pupils uh, basically prefer which payment method. Okay, there are pupils who are from 31 to 40 years. They basically prefer cash on delivery more. Okay, and I can say even 21 to 30 years of pupils, they also prefer cash on delivery. Okay, and credit card and debit card, more people are there which are from 41 to 50 years. They basically prefer this method as compared to 21 to 30 and 31 to 40. Okay, and if I just talk about the e-wallet, this is basically having a high count of 31 to 40 years and 41 to 50 years. So majority time people are using credit card and debit card option. Okay, okay, just even see this thing. Okay, just see also this thing. What browser do you run on your device to access the website? So okay. Mhm. Okay, the people who are using Safari, they are basically from age of 21 to 30. I can say a youngster only, which are using this thing from 21 to 30 years, which are using Safari, maybe on their iPhone, Mac, iPad, or somewhere else. But yeah, majority of the peoples are using Google Chrome. Okay, like from less than 20 years of peoples, they are not using that much. 51 years and above, they are also not using that much. But yeah, as compared to all the other these things, from as compared to Safari, Opera, and Mozilla Firefox, most of the people are using Google Colab. Okay. Mhm. Okay, just a second, guys. So just try to just I will just suggest you just try to have a glance of these things. Okay. Now, okay, after these things, I have also written some of the observations over here. Just try to read these observations one by one. Okay. Now, this is also the question: which city do you shop online from? Okay, number of cities. So let us just visualize these things in a big graph, so you will be having a good idea. This is going to be Delhi, and Delhi is basically having a high count. After that, we basically have Noida. After that, we basically have Greater Noida. After that, Noida and Bangalore, Karnal, and all the other cities. So most of the people are ordering from Delhi only. This is the main analysis. Okay. Now, so which is easy to use website or application? Okay. Okay. So I can say like what peoples are using more. So I can say this is basically having a high count: Amazon.in, Flipkart.com, Paytm.com, Mintra.com, Snapdeal.com. Okay. So this is the most sites that people are basically using, because like what we basically do, we basically see the same product on different sites. Okay, if I'm getting a good offer on Flipkart, for sure I will be going with Flipkart only. Okay. Now, let's even analyze these things in more detail. This is basically a limited mode of payment and most products. No, Rahul, it is basically your Google Colab. Okay, it is of Google Colab. Just do one thing, just go on Google and type Google Colab. I have also explained these things in the yesterday class. Okay. So yeah, Snapdeal, what is it is saying? Limited mode of payments on most products. Okay. So which site is having which is having a limited mode of payment? So I can say Snapdeal is basically having a limited mode of payment. After that, they are showing the data is showing. I'm not basically telling this. The data that I have, this is basically giving me this information. After that, we have Amazon, okay, and Paytm and these things. So basically this is basically saying that okay, where is my Paytm? Yeah, Paytm is basically giving us the less payment modes, but Amazon and Snapdeal is giving us the various payment methods. Like either I can even use the EMI one, either even I can use the cash on delivery, credit card, debit card, and all the things. Okay. Now, let us just try to understand this one. Which of the Indian online retailer would you recommend to your friend? Again, the same analysis, but on a big scale. Okay, so we will be able to analyze these things. So most of the people are saying Amazon only, because we have compared these things with respect to the age. Okay, so now Amazon.in. So most of the people are basically recommending Amazon to their friends. Okay, so this is also the main thing. Now let us also discuss, just a second. Okay, okay. So this is again, I am just analyzing these columns. Okay, and I have also written my observation from here. From upper graph, I can basically say most of the people recommend Amazon to their friends. After Amazon, people also recommend Flipkart. Okay, these are basically having a same count. Like most of the people are most of the people are recommending Amazon. After that, Amazon and Flipkart both. Okay, this is what people are doing over here. Now, okay, which site gives fast, speedy order delivery? Okay, let us just even analyze these things. Amazon, but after Amazon, Amazon and Flipkart both. Pupils are basically, this data is from the pupils only. After that, yeah, Flipkart, Amazon is Snapdeal. Some people may getting delivery after some days, but most of the people are getting delivery on time. Okay, so that's why people have also recommended this Amazon.in, Flipkart.in, Snapdeal.in, and all. Okay, okay, again. Mhm. Okay, some people have also recommend. Some people have also voted Flipkart for the late delivery. Okay, now let me just again run this cell. Now what we have did over here, just try to understand. Okay, okay, just see over here. I hope you guys remember this thing that we have did over. We have compared all the columns with respect to the age only. Okay, this is what we have did over here. We have compared the age with respect to all the columns. This was my bivariant analysis. Now let me, just a second. Let me just do the same thing. I'm just going to do the same thing, but with respect to the other columns. Now, what other column? I will be using Y for the Y1. I will be using privacy of customers. Like Flipkart and Amazon, basically having my mobile number, my this thing, my address, and my debit card number, credit card number, and all the things. So, which side is basically providing privacy of customers more? This is also the main thing. Okay, let so this is the let me just again run this one. It is basically running. It will take okay, now it got executed. So let us just, okay, so let us just now try to analyze this thing also. This is my first graph, okay, which is presenting. Okay, I will be comparing these things with respect to my this thing columns. So this column is basically representing, as you can see over here, the content on the website must be easy to read and understand. I don't think it should be related with the privacy one. So let me just do one thing. Okay, just a second. Let me just analyze some other column. It should be somewhere there. Okay, let me just have a look in columns. Getting value of the money, shopping on the website helps you. Okay. Okay, shopping on the website gives you the sense of, okay, the conversation. Okay. Net delivery online can really enjoy. Okay, this is the column that I can use. Now let me just again draw this thing. Okay, I will be only going to draw single graph only. SNS dot strip plot. Strip plot is there. After that, on the y, on the x, I will be passing my this column. After that, in the y, I will be passing my this column. Okay, I can say okay. Data dot columns. Is it giving an index? Okay. I don't know the privacy of the customer information. I don't know why it is not taking my this thing. Customer privacy. Where is my privacy? Privacy is there or not? While shopping online. Okay. 28. Okay, being able to. This was the one, and which was the other one? Privacy of customer information. So where my column is privacy of information. Okay, SNS statistic plot x is equal to this one and y is equal to this one. Just a second, guys. I'm getting a call actually. Okay, so just try to drop these things. I can say there is some issue with respect to the columns also. That's why I think I have selected the columns from 18 only. Okay, so from this thing I can even analyze, like if this is the Paytm, so which is providing more security, which are basically keeping your data more, which is basically providing you more privacy. Okay, which will be not leaking your data. So I can say Amazon is there. Okay, and Flipkart is also there, which is basically providing you more privacy. Okay, so this was the one analysis. I will be providing, Aditya, I will be providing you the CSV file. You do not have to worry about this thing. Okay. Okay, so this is also the observations that I have written over here. I will basically suggest you to go through with this observation. Okay, so you will be having some idea. So you will be having some idea what my data is saying. Okay, now, okay, over here what I am doing, what I am doing over here, data new is equal to data dot ilog. After that I am selecting all the rows, but after 47 columns I am selecting all the columns. Okay, so these are the only columns. with respect to these columns I'm going to work with. Okay, now just see this thing. Okay, so now just do one thing, that these are what I'm going to do. Let me just execute the code first. After that you will be knowing what I'm going to do over here. Okay, now just see what I am doing. I am just finding the count of positive and negative reviews, because on Amazon, after purchasing some product, you will be giving a review, okay, like a positive one or a negative one. So as an analyst, my job is to give all the insights that are available in my data set. Okay, so if with respect to which side people are like facing some kind of issues, this is I basically have to find out. So what I have did over here, I have just written a website that are available in my data set, and I have just created a small function that is called as positive negative, basically a review. Over here I'm just passing x comma y. Okay, and after that I have also created some empty list where I will be storing my data. Okay, and at the end of these things I am just creating a data frame out of the values that I have extracted over here. So this is the homework for all of you. Just try to analyze this code and just try to understand how this code is working line by line, because it is, I can say, a pretty easy. Okay, yeah. Bamidi, I can say, if you are working with all the other if you are working with other, I can say, if you are working with other columns, like some columns is basically some values, some columns are having 70, somewhere in your data set you are having 71 columns, somewhere you are just having 10 columns. Okay, so you just have to experiment this thing with respect to the column values, or let me just write 100. I was just doing an experiment over here. Okay, let us just see what output I will be able to get. Okay, so for others, let me just clarify these things. There's a one person who is asking this question, like how to set this perfect figure size values. So just see this thing. When I have selected 100, I was not able to clearly see what my analysis is saying. Okay, so, let me just select 600, because previously I have selected 500. Now let me just see what my 600 is going to do. Because okay, now 600 also, yeah, you are getting a clear visualization with respect to 600, so you can go with 600 or 500. So you have to experiment these things. Okay, now this is the positive and negative review, the code that I have written over here. Okay, now just see, this is my data that I was able to create at the end of this function. Okay, now what is my data? These are my different columns. One is basically telling the site, and this is the count, and these are like easy to, what is the review that people are giving, this is the reviews, these are the sites, these are the counts. But it is little hard to analyze this thing like this. So there is an option in pandas that transpose, it will be just converting this thing into a vertical one. Just see this, I have just used a dot transpose. Now let me just try to view this thing. People are saying easy to use website or applications. Okay, I think what is this? Which of the Indian online retailer? No, this is basically act positive comments only. Like in Amazon, people have given this much of positive comments, and like easy to use website or application. This is the counts that people have given. over here. Okay. So this is the positive one, the accounts that people have given for it. Now similarly, let us just even calculate for the negative one. Okay, and let me just even rename these things, because previously I was just having a name like this 012, and we have discussed these things, how to rename values. Just call the data frame and dot rename after that column, and just pass all the values in a dictionary. Like with respect to the 0, you basically wanted to change it to this one. So positive suggestions. Okay, and this is the count of pupils. Easy to use website or application. So pupils have given 249 pupils have given their opinion on this thing. This is what your data is saying. Now this is the negative data. Now let me just even run this for the negative one, the same thing that I have did over here. Okay, now again I think I have to rename this thing negative review. Long delivery period with respect to Amazon. 37 peoples have voted this thing. They have written the review. Again, long delivery period with respect to Flipkarts, 44 peoples. With respect to Paytm, 98 peoples. That means that Paytm is really doing late delivery. With respect to Myntra, 28 peoples only. I can say a very less number with respect to Myntra. Okay. With respect to Snapdeal, 90 peoples. Okay, after Paytm, Snapdeal is having a second highest number. Okay, now so people are basically suggesting change in website or application design. So for Amazon, this is the amount of people who have basically suggested this thing. For the Flipkart, this is the amount of people. For Paytm, this is the, and for Myntra. So you can basically analyze these things from your own end. Okay, now uh, okay, I basically have a positive and a negative also, but I, at the end of the analysis, I also wanted to draw a graph which will be giving me a visualization, like whether peoples are, whether there are more people who are hating the app, or whether there are more people who are loving the app, because there are both persons. Like sometime you are getting a right delivery and on time delivery, you will be happy and you will be writing a positive review. But sometime I can say out of 10 out of 10 8 out of 10 8 times you are getting a right delivery, but somewhere in the between two times you might be getting a wrong delivery, and Amazon or Flipkart may be extending your delivery date. Okay, so at that time you will be also writing the negative review. So if I'm just going to run this one, so positive review with respect to Amazon, I can say this 250, almost 220. Okay, this is your 200. I can say 150, 150, and this is your 200. So yeah, this will be around 210 or 220. Okay, this is the peoples who are writing positive review. But for same Amazon, peoples are also writing. Okay, peoples are also writing the negative review. Okay. Now for the Flipkart, I can say approx 160 people are there who are writing a positive review, but people who are writing the negative review, they are somewhere around 65, 65 number, 65 peoples. Same, and for Paytm, people are basically reviewing more negative review are there with respect to the Paytm. This is for the negative count. This is for the positive count. Okay, and positive review are very less, but negative reviews are more in Paytm. And Mintra, obviously less positive reviews, but in negative review, more negative reviews. Same for Snapdeal. Let us just discuss the code also. PLT dot figure fixed size is equal to this much. PLT dot sub plots 1 to 1. That means I only wanted to create two plots over here. And SNS dot bar plot X is equal to site. X basically means this is the site. Y is going to be the count, and data is going to be positive. That means this data is equal to positive means this data frame. And when I'm calling a count, that means this column. Okay. Now I'm adding this title over here. PLT site versus positive counts. If I have right now I have given 20, let me just give 25. So you will be able to see the difference. Now just see, compare this one and this one. Okay, if I'm also giving a font size over here of 25, so it will be little bit more. So it is basically helping you to analyze these things, nothing else. PLT.xticks rotate 90 degree. This thing, we are just rotating it towards the 90 degree. And after this thing, the title is there. For we have set a title side versus negative count. So this is only the code that we have written, and this is the output that you are basically seeing over here. Are you getting all these things, guys? Can I get some confirmation in the chat? Okay. Now, okay. So this is the end of the project where we are just providing our conclusion. Okay, and these are the things that we have noted how to improve from this data set, that what the sites need to improve. Okay, this is the conclusion that you have to write after the end of the project. Okay, like reduce a longer time to log in. Okay, this was also the thing that we have analyzed, so you just have to analyze the upper cells and you will be able to find this thing. Okay, reduce a longer time in displaying graphics and photos. Yeah, for sure, if you are doing some kind of analysis with respect to Amazon or Flipkart something, okay, so you will be facing this issue, right? Right or not, guys? You might face this issue sometimes. This is the right observation I think I have written over here. Yeah, recording will be available over here. You do not have to worry about this thing. So just tell me, guys, are you relating with this improvement that Amazon, Flipkart should improve these things? Okay, or I can say a Flipkart or maybe Snapdeal. Do you think I have written right things over here from this data set? You can even relate these things on your daily experience. Right or not, guys? Okay. So this is the positive feedback review that people have given. Okay, so I think this is going to give some kind of a motivation to the online shopping apps. And Flipkart, okay, this was with respect to I think Amazon, and this was with respect to the Flipkart, positive one. Negative with respect to the Flipkart. For Paytm, these are the some positive suggestions, and this is the count. Okay, this is negative review with count. Okay, we basically have another project to discuss, so just do not think like that we are at the end. No, we are not at the end. So negative review, these are negative review with count. This is the Mintra review with count. These are the positive reviews of Mintra, and this is the count of the peoples. Okay, negative, this is with respect to the Mintra, the negative comments and the count. Okay. Yeah. Okay. With respect to Snapdeal and all the other sites, I have written all the things. Okay. So now your job is to analyze this notebook once again, and just try to and understand the code. Do not memorize this code. Okay, because code is available on internet also. This is the same thing that I have explained you in the yesterday class. Okay. So do you are you guys having any kind of question from this particular project? If you have any questions from this particular project, please ask me. Guys, any questions from like this project like this? This is basically a real time project. If there are no questions, so we are just going to move forward with respect to the other project. I'm waiting in the comment section, guys. Yes or no, you can even return no. If you do not have any questions, you can just directly comment no. I will be Shiva, I will be providing you the data sets as well as the IPYNB file also. So you do not have to worry about the code and the data set. All you just have to worry about, just read each and every observations from your own. Okay. And also I basically wanted to mention, like we have discussed this thing. If we have a space in columns, how to remove it? So yeah, we have answered this question. So this is the code that I have shown you in the yesterday class, but today I have also shown you that how you can basically build a small logic and how you can basically put it inside a loop, so it will be automatically changing the values. Yeah, I will be showing you that also. This is basically the next data set that I will be showing you. Okay, just see this thing. This is basically the log function where we will be changing the values. Just a little bit of logic you have to put inside this thing. Okay, this is also how you can make a CSV. I have answered these questions also. Okay, okay, let me just share my screen. Let me just see. Okay, customer, I think this was the data. Let me just give me a second, guys. I'm just loading my data into my Google Colab. Okay, this was like customer churn. Okay, where is my this thing? Okay, this is the file I can see. Customer churn prediction. Customer churn prediction. Yeah. Okay, guys. This is your second project that we will be discussing. A churn prediction. What is a churn prediction? The format that you are seeing over here, this is your IPYNB format, in which you can basically visualize each and every output of a single cell. But if you are using a .py file, okay, you will be not able to see the execution after each and every line. So this is the formats of files. So what is the churn prediction? Okay, now now I can say, let us just suppose if you are owning a company. Okay, this was the, I think, the example that I was given in the yesterday class. So if you are a owner of a company or something, like a Flipkart or something, Flipkart, let us just take an example of Flipkart and Amazon. If people are leaving Flipkart and they are basically doing more shopping with respect to the Amazon, there might be some reasons behind it, because Amazon is having because in this case Amazon is facing some kind of a loss. Okay, but if Amazon, bar plot is nothing, these are the different plots, guys. Okay, just try to see that particular code. This is nothing, you just have to call that particular graph, and after that you just have to pass the values inside it. Okay, so if you are basically first you was doing shopping from the Amazon, but after that you are basically continuously doing shopping with respect to the Flipkart. Okay, so Amazon is just going to analyze their customer records. Okay, so they basically do not face this type of a loss. This is basically a churn prediction. Okay, now if I'm just talking about a churn prediction, this is my data. Okay, phone service is there, something is there, dependence is there, partner is there, senior citizen is there, gender is there, customer ID is there, and a lot of things. Contact month to month, 1 year. This is basically some company. So this is basically a machine learning. We can even create a machine learning model on this. No is basically predicting that no is basically means the customer is not going to leave the company, but yes is saying that customer is going to leave the company. Okay, now mm, again I'm just going to check the missing values. These are the some predefined functions, like for some predefined steps that you used to follow in each and every project. So there is no missing values. Now there was someone who was asking me what is data.describe. Just see this thing. Data.describe is only going to work with respect to the numerical columns only. So senior citizens and monthly charges. So monthly charges minimum amount is 18.25. The maximum is 118.75, and the mean value of monthly charges is 18. Mean basically means also average. 50% is this much, 75% is this much, 25% is this much. Okay. Now data.info. So it will be giving me customer ID is basically having a object column, gender is having also object column, senior citizen is basically having a int column. This is the information that you are getting. Now let us just directly discuss about the analysis. So this is your univariate analysis. I have just passed some columns over here. Okay, because I am just going to draw a count plot of them. Now just see what I have did over here in the count plot. I have just called sns.count plot data call I, means every column in my data, like this is my data, but these are the columns inside my data, and I is basically presenting like one by one. Pick one column, like after this thing, after this one, after this, after this, after this. So it will be picking each and every column one by one. Okay. Now you will be also able to get some kind of analysis like count of genders. Can I say male and females both are equal, both are having the same count? Count of partners. Yes, the pupils who basically have partner, like a married couple. So yes, pupils who are not having a partner, so no. So yeah, almost equal. Okay. Count plot on of dependence. So pupils who are saying yes, like they have some dependencies. Okay. The pupils who are saying no, so there are there are high count of no. So this is basically the information that we are getting. Okay, I will be also showing you some more analysis. Okay, let me just directly jump towards the more detailed analysis. This is the distribution. Just see. This is also a one graph in your Cbond that is called sns.distplot. That means the distribution. Whether your distribution is normally normal distributed or not. Just see this one. Can I say this distribution is right skewed? Okay. You just have to practice with these two datas, two with respect to these two projects that I will be providing you and that I will be showing you over here. Okay, so this is just see the distribution. Okay, if it is like right skewed, if it is not normally distributed, that means my mean, median and mode are not approximately equal. And just see this graph, this is containing multiple distributions. So if I basically need to perform machine learning on it, so for that I basically need to remove this skewness. Okay, now just also leave this thing, because the bivariant analysis we have discussed this thing also. Now just try to see this thing. Now what I have did over here in this code, I have basically mentioned each and every column where churn is no and churn is yes. Where no basically means the people are not going to leave the company, and yes basically means the people are going to leave the company. So let us just try to understand with respect to the gender. So male and female are both are having the same count, which are not going to leave the company. Okay, this is basically having a high count. But people who are going to leave the company, they are also having a same amount, a same count of female and male. Okay, now let us just discuss about the partners. People who are staying in the company. Okay, more people are there who have a partner. Little bit less people are there who do not have partner. But people who are leaving the company, okay, they do not have a partner. More people who are leaving the company, they do not have any partner. But the less, I can say a 50% of this one, the no. Okay, there are also some people who have a partner, but majority peoples are not having partner. This is also the some good information that you are extracting. So you can basically stop these peoples by providing some offers, by providing some extra discount on some products or something, so they do not leave the company. Okay, now dependencies. People who are leaving the company, churn is yes, they basically do not have any dependencies. Okay, but almost very less amount of peoples who basically have dependencies. So can I say we can target those peoples who do not have partner and who do not have dependencies. Are you getting this thing, guys? Can I get some confirmation in the chat? Are you getting the benefit of this analysis? Yes or no? Guys, come on. Some confirmation in the chat. Okay. Now, phone services. People who are leaving the company, they have phone services. Okay, so we are just going to target these people who have phone services, no dependents, and partners is yes. These people we are going to target. I'm going to provide this information to my manager. Okay, just see what kind of valuable information you are passing towards the client. Okay, for sure, if you are passing this information, for sure you will be getting an increment. Okay. Okay, guys. Now, okay, these are also some other observations like online security. uh, yeah, Rakshita, we use data analysis over there also. Okay, and for sure, if in future we will be coming up with an other data analysis project, I will be showing you about this pharmaceutical industry's data set only. We will be analyzing these things. Okay, and other websites, other columns are also there. Okay. Okay, these are the basically things. Just give me a second, guys. And just a second. So this I will be also sharing you this thing. Okay, and this is a plotly library. This is the code that I have written over here. So I will just suggest you to read this code one by line. This is line by line. This is not that much hard. So just see this thing. This is the plot. Okay, if I will be using a plotly library, so if I'm just clicking on this thing, you will be also getting the percentage. Okay, whether the person is going to churn or not. Okay, internet service total charges, so if you are just going to type of contact by churn or not. Okay, so this is how you can basically analyze your data. Just see this thing, guys. Whenever I'm hovering over this thing, you will be even able to see the count. Okay, now just a second, guys. Just a second. Just a second. And guys, I will be also want to tell you that if you basically want to get a good job in a good company, okay, I will basically suggest you to join our full stack data science program, because this data analysis we have discussed on a very small scale. But if you are going inside an industry, they will be asking you a lot of questions. Okay, because if you basically also want to become a data analyst, okay, you should be very good with respect to the Python. If I'm saying Python is not just about plotting a graph, sns dot bar plot, sns dot count plot. No, it is about handling the data. Okay, so this is our full stack program where we are providing 100% live classes, where you can directly get in touch with your mentors. Okay, we will be also adding you on our WhatsApp group. Okay, so this is basically our full curriculum that we are providing to our students. You can even download the curriculum over here also. Okay, a lot of things we are basically teaching you in a short amount of time. In just 6 months we will be teaching you these things, so you will be able to land on a dream job. Okay, because these are basically our demo lectures. But if you want to basically learn these things in more detail, okay, so we will be basically providing you all of these things in our full stack course. Okay, we will be teaching you those libraries that we are using in a real time industry for the real time project, for a project, the problem that client is basically facing. Okay, for we are just providing a solution with respect to the AI. So all of these libraries we are using in our real life, so we are also teaching you these things. Okay, because if you are joining some kind of a full stack course, okay, with respect to Let's Upgrade, so we are also providing you a full roadmap. Okay, so you know what step you have to take after your first step or the second step. You basically have the idea if you basically want to become a data scientist or something. Okay, so what path you basically need to follow. We are even providing you the live projects also. Okay, a lot of projects we are basically providing you. Okay, these are the projects list, guys. For the even the analysis, we are providing you a live data analysis. Okay, for object detection is there, and image classification is there. With respect to the natural language processing, we are also providing you all the projects. Okay, so I basically suggest you to join this 6 months of program. Sentiment analysis and all the things we are providing, a lot of projects. If you're mentioning these projects, right, for sure, for sure, a companies, not a startup, like MNCs companies are going to call you if you're mentioning these projects in your resume, because doing a project is something different, but you should know how your project is basically working, how basically you because let us just suppose if you are working as a data scientist in an industry, okay, and you basically have to do some kind of a project from a scratch. Okay, so on that basis we are basically training our students, so you will be able to do any kind of a project from your own, from scratch. Okay, 100% live classes. We are even adding our students on our WhatsApp group. Okay, so if you basically want to learn these things, just try to join this our course, full stack data science course, where we will be teaching you a lot of things. Okay, and we are just providing 100% live session. Okay, so yeah. Okay, do you have any other question, guys? So do you have any other question, guys? Okay, guys, I can say I will be sharing my both the notebooks, so you can basically join our community group where you will be getting all the this CSV file and the .ipynb file, so you can practice from your own. So, guys, this was it about today's class. Okay, just try to do some practice, and if you basically want to land up on a good job, just try to join our this full stack data science program. Okay, so okay, guys, this was it about today's class. Okay, then, each and everyone, bye, and good night, guys.